Welcome to Holistic Human Performance Podcast. My name is Jenna Bradshaw, where we talk all things holistic health, wellness, spirituality, fitness, meditation, energetics, and so much more to help you become the healthiest version of yourself. Let's dive in. This is not medical advice. This is simply to help you on your journey through health, fitness, and wellness. I hope this helps. You can complement this with anything that you are doing currently in your life. Enjoy. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Holistic Human Performance Podcast. I'm your host, Jenna Bradshaw. And this episode is a little bit different than normal. Jake and I, our astrologer, we weren't able to do like a one-on-one recording. So I said, hey, you film, you talk about Virgo season and let the people know what's up. And so that is the episode you're going to listen to today. Jake is going to take a deep dive into Virgo season, the theme of the season, question of the season, and what to look out for and the energy for you to lean into. It's really fascinating how much leaning into your birth natal chart can tell you so much about your soul's blueprint, your life, how you can access these, the medicine to healing your life and your health, really every aspect in your life. It's just helping you to work your energy in a more efficient way, a better way of living based on your own specific chart. And what's really cool, and I'm so excited to announce this, I have been working on this for quite some time in the background, and this is my compilation of all of my research, my study, my tools, what I utilize and practice on a day-to-day basis and help my clients, students, and readers integrate into their lives. And I've seen transformation on a whole other level, like miracle stuff, of reclaiming your health and finding your soul's mission and purpose. The two are directly correlated. Purpose and health are directly correlated. You cannot have one without the other. And I found this and started integrating it into my own life. And I'm like, holy shit, this works. And obviously, practice over time. And I don't share anything or do anything that I haven't tried myself because I want to see, and obviously everybody's different, but I want to see how it made me feel. And I want to, obviously, using common sense and intuitive nudges of, hey, is this good for me? Will this be good for my body? Is this something that I need? And sharing that with you all. And so I've created the Metaphysics Your Health Find Your Soul's Purpose course. This is literally my methodology that I help clients, students, readers transform their lives. It will be broken down into 12, 13 modules. You'll get bonus items. You will get meditations, breath work, energy sound healings, journal prompts. You'll get a whole PDF of different workbooks. And again, this is all self-paced, so you're going to be able to integrate this as much or as little as you would like into your life. What it is a course where you can come back to help you rebuild the foundation. So let's just say if you've leveled up and you're like, ooh, I really need to go back to the basics, you can rewatch this and you can go through these steps again. That's the best part about it. And again, I've seen life-changing transformation in so many clients, students, readers, my own life, and it's really cool to see. And so I had to bring this to you all. And so what's really cool is Jake will be a part of this course. And he will be touching on all of the different houses, 1 to 12, and what they mean and how you can apply that to your life to become healthier and also help you on the path of transformation to find your purpose, your soul's mission and purpose. When I integrated astrology into my life, it was a game changer. And so I said, hey, Jake, I got to have you in this course to teach others. He is an expert. I'm not an expert in astrology, so that's why I wanted him to come in and teach inside of this course. So you will be getting so much great tools and practices that you educate. And again, it's a transformation. Once you do this, you will never go back to the way that you were living. It is a complete lifestyle change to a holistic lifestyle and spiritual wellness practices. So I really hope you enjoy. This will go live October 1st. And if you are a one-on-one client or you are a member of the HHP Virtual Wellness Center, guess what? You get access to this course. You get automatic access to this course. So I'm so excited. I want to hear all the feedback. And here we go into the episode with Jake. Enjoy.
Hello, everyone, and happy Virgo season. I am honored to be here again on the Holistic Podcast hosted by Jenna Bradshaw. This week, I'm going to be talking about the Virgo seasonality and going into, as classic, our rulerships of the season as well from a planetary and house standpoint, all relating to astrology. Jenna could not join specifically one-on-one this time around, but I'm happy to kind of play the role here to give some education this week and things that we can look out for as we are in this beautiful Virgo season. Before we get specifically into the details of Virgo season, for any new listeners or for those that wanted a refresher around astrology, I am founder of Captain's Legacy, and in our astrology that we label as revolutionary astrology, our philosophy is consumed around the natal chart being the map of the unconscious mind. And I just want to reiterate the power of that essence of astrology in our individualized path here in the world, how we're evolving, but more importantly, the acceptance of the reality of our behaviors, our thoughts, and how those are manifesting into the world in our everyday experiences. So if you're really just getting into astrology, we love to stay on the basic ground. And when you look at seasonalities, it's around the collective conscious, what energy forces are around us in the universe and around us right now that are playing and amplifying potential energies within us, right? So the map of the unconscious mind being so powerful at the time of birth, you created your natal chart, which is the alignment right above us, where the planets were, what zodiac signs those planets were within. And really, when you look at the spiritual side of that, what are these energy forces? What do they represent? Where did they align at my time of birth? Really gave me a map to my personalized evolution. We go a little bit deeper in the philosophy when you think about environment and self-development. You bring in culture, you bring in the timelines of these different experiences. That's where you get into gender. That's when you get into all these other elemental forces in our society that can expand upon our own evolutionary process. But why I love astrology and when I found it from my mentors and continue to learn from them and continue to educate myself is the realization of accepting these energy forces within me and just being able to see the patterns of how my life has expanded with these energies from within. And then you get a little bit deeper into just not just your natal chart, but things going on from progressions and transits that would be labeled of where the planets might be at this point in time for us, inflicting us. So I always just say, look up when in doubt. You've got your beautiful planets right above us and the beautiful universe that is playing a heavy role in our spiritual journey. So very honored to continue to talk about astrology and really elaborate on the value it can provide to your everyday life. So excited to get into Virgo specifically because elaborating a little bit more that even if you are not a Virgo person, what that really means is that you are a Virgo sun. Right. So at the time of your birth, the sun's positioning was in this beautiful zodiac sign above us in the sign of Virgo. But for any of us that love astrology, we can always emphasize in the seasonalities and leverage the energies of these different symbols, signs, and how they can help us through different time frames. But even if you're looking at your own astrological natal chart, you're going to look for this sign. And what the philosophy expands upon is you're probably going to have experiences from either the planetary standpoint of what your Virgo is in, if it's not the sun, or where Virgo lies on the cusp, which is just the outside of the circle when you're looking at a natal chart. And that would resemble experiences you're going to have in this lifetime around a certain element of life, personality, relationships, career. All the houses represent those different elemental forces of what is manifesting in real life experiences. So for any of us that are listening to this, you can really hone in and see where the Virgo is playing in your life. But now shifting specifically to the seasonality, right? Virgo is really known for being the perfectionist. It's a very practical energy force. It is a very detailed oriented, individualized energy force. It wants to absorb knowledge. It wants to take account for collecting a lot of data, and it's going to be able to then bridge the gap from collecting the data to finding a way to gain and strive for perfection, right? How do I enhance myself? What is the process of doing it? It's a very process oriented energy is Virgo. So, sometimes the shadow, when we say in astrology, there's no good or bad, there's no judgment. That's why these are just energies within us. The reality of these energies is they're going to manifest. It has to go somewhere, right? That's the spiritual soul coming into life form. So when you have those Virgo energies, right, being perfect or trying to find perfection in this world can be difficult. But as long as you hone in on, well, what is the process of potentially gaining to be perfect at this or be perfect in this regard, that can really amplify and the understanding of the energy of respecting the process to achieve that perfection. When I really think about this in a lifetime form, I think about engineers, brilliant individuals. In my past experiences in my career, I've been around some brilliant people from Harvard, MIT on a data analytical side of point, and the coding that they go into. Think about those details and think about all the processing that they need to go to design something absolutely remarkable. And I think in this day and age, the technology force, engineers really remind me of that Virgo standpoint. And expanding a little bit more on the Virgo is I want to hone in on rulership in that regard as well. So in our philosophy, we do believe rulership is going to play a big role in understanding how things are logically, energetically amplifying from an individual. So when you think about Virgo, there is this rulership alignment to a planet and to a house in our astrology. So Virgo specifically, yes, the perfectionist, looking at data, looking at analytics, as we've mentioned, very detailed oriented, but we really focus on energies of the planet themselves. And a ruler of Virgo is actually the planet Mercury. Mercury is a dual ruler when it comes into the astrology. So those that have joined us when it was Gemini season, you probably heard a little bit about Mercury, but to reiterate, Mercury is the intellectual thoughts. It's how we communicate, it's how we gather information, right? Mercury could amplify itself in writing. When I think those forces of Virgo and Mercury coming together, I could see a checklist on a journal, right? This thing that we can check off as we're going through the process to achieve something and the thought process to write that out. But when you're really looking at that Mercury energy force, a helpful reminder is again, these things are right above us, surrounding us, and playing a role in the universe. And Mercury is the closest planet to the sun, and it goes around the sun very fast. It was known in older times to be the messenger of the gods. And when I think about remembering rulership and bringing in Mercury and Virgo together, right? I'm thinking about this beautiful planet going around our solar system so fast, and it has such a great focal point to gather all the details of the universe, to see what Venus is doing, what Jupiter's doing. It can get every angle of the sun. It rotates around it very rapidly, and it can report back information of what might be going on in a greater perspective. And I think that's just such an element of the Virgo, but that's where the rulership really comes in. So thinking of this intellectual individual. And rulership can also then expand further with those similar traits and characteristics. When you look at the house rulership of Virgo, which is the sixth house. Again, the houses in a natal chart are experiences we will have in this lifetime, every day to day. Where are these energy forces coming from? Sixth house is really around work, but service, right? So it's not so much big picture public view of career, but it's the service. It's the going through the process, as we mentioned. So serving others, serving ourselves to enhance ourselves. But sixth house is also going to have a resemblance to mentors. So thinking about that, Virgo, most people, yes, an engineer is a great example. What about a teacher? A teacher has to be detail oriented, has to have structure, has to be um, very willing to share information. So another great example of how this all can collaborate. So it's a wonderful season when you're thinking about this collective consciousness. I really want you to zone in and feel those energy forces. And again, yes, it relates to the sixth house, it relates to Mercury, but Virgo is the ruler of this season, and you're going to be feeling these energies. And you can look at your own natal chart and start to make those correlations of what your experiences in the past have been like. And then, of course, classic Virgo as well. I'm looking at a process, I'm reevaluating things, I'm gathering these details. What is next? What do I want to do in this season? Right? For me, as a prime example, right, I have Virgo in my seventh house. It's actually in Jupiter. So I have Jupiter energy forces with Virgo, which for me is really around expanding, and it's in my seventh around partnerships. How do I want to be a better partner? How do I want other incredible partners to come into my life who can expand me, right? And especially when I look at my own patterns in life, who have been my best mentors. I've always needed someone there. Even learning astrology, Ricky Williams and Linnea Myron are both my educators. They have a wonderful program that I suggest looking up. Their mobile app is Leela. I want to give them a quick shout out as they have really helped me through the process. I know Jenna has been able to connect with them as well, but that is a prime example of these mentors that have come into my life to help me expand myself. Such Jupiter energy, and they are brilliant, brilliant teachers, right? But again, go to your own natal chart, look at these different opportunities and items that could be coming up that you could address and start to look back at those powers. I think if Jenna was here, I wanted to ask her some questions about her Virgo energies. It's actually on the cusp of her fourth house. So home, soul, I mean, her incredible work that she does with individuals with soul family members in my mind of, these energy forces, but, a wonderful teacher himself, but I'd love to really learn more in the future around the Virgo energies of everybody. But Jenna would be another example of her stuff wouldn't be so much seventh house like mine in Jupiter, but her Virgo energy is represented in the fourth house. So everyone take a look at your natal chart. And if you need support to understand it, please do not hesitate to reach out to Jenna or myself. We do have a lot of different sessions, Captain's Legacy on our website. You can jump in, we can do some readings, and really with the work that we do and that Jenna experienced at one point was around tapping into these different energy forces. And then we enter a meditative state where we can actually look at past lives to past visions of this lifetime of where these energies came up. And we're able to really find some incredible healing, some incredible visualization to expand upon. But we do also always want to leave on some great questions, this question of the season. So I'll read it off here. My question for everybody in this season to focus on: what is something you want to improve about yourself? But more importantly, think that Virgo energy. What is the process of getting that done? And really zone in on that element and see what comes up for you and start to make that plan out. Again, details are in the pudding here, as they would say. For me, a prime example of when I had a Virgo moment over the past couple of days is there's a beautiful psychological practice called the operating matrix, where you look at Sunday through Saturday and you look at your week and you space out these time frames. And the operating matrix is around what are you doing day to day. Then you can actually set some goals, right? How much currency of time am I giving to these different tasks? Is this letting me reach my goal? But for me to sit down and really space this out and come back to my operating matrix this season is a great example of how I've allowed to leverage these energy forces, because I might not have enjoyed that in past seasons. Leo is more the entertainer, as we talked about on our last podcast. in that seasonality. But the fact that I could feel these energies, I didn't even realize till I was done with my operating matrix that this was a beautiful Virgo moment, and it's enhanced myself because I looked at details of my own life. And it just, when you can find that harmony, you'll start to feel better and you'll start to really enhance your livelihood. The last thing I do want to leave on is I want to shout out Jenna for all the incredible work. I highly suggest. She's got incredible sessions coming up that people take those classes and courses. Jenna and I are actually working on a beautiful course. It is called The Metaphysics Your Health. Find Your Soul's Purpose. I will be doing a specific module around astrology. We are going to be focusing on rulership, as we mentioned. So in each of the modules, we'll have about, for the astrology section, 12 houses are represented in the natal chart. Each of them have a sign and planetary ruler. So this will be basic astrology to kind of hone in on knowledge of these energy forces, what the planets represent, what the signs represent, what the houses represent. But we go through the rulership as well to kind of keep things clear. Another Virgo element has to be able to process with simplicity. So another great course, another great service that should be launching by the beginning of October. So we will have that and other things here. But please like, subscribe. If you enjoyed this podcast, please give us feedback. But happy Virgo season, and onward and upward to everybody. Bless y'all.